welcome to this video from VNA classes, and in this video we will be discussing about the circulatory system in human body. Okay, this topic will be covered under three subtopics, that is human heart, blood vessels and the circulatory part. Okay, so let's start with the human heart first. So what is a human heart? It is a muscular organ which is the main pumping organ of the circulation in human body. So all the blood which is present in human body is pumped with the help of this organ, that is heart. So let's see the structure of this heart. Human heart, or for that matter mammalian heart, consists of four chambers, and the names of chamber are left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium and the right ventricle. Okay, so on the left hand side we have two chambers and on the right hand side we have two chambers. Now the covering of the heart, the outer covering of the heart, it contains three layers. Okay, so what are these three layers? Let's look into this diagram. So the innermost layer is called the endocardium. It can be split into two words, endo and cardium. Endo means on the inside and cardium means heart. Okay, so the innermost layer is endocardium. The second layer, that is the middle one, it is the thickest layer, it is called as the myocardium. Myo here means muscle and cardium again means the heart. Okay, and the outermost layer is called the pericardium. It can also be split into peri and cardium. Peri always means a covering, like in example of periphery. Okay, periphery means surrounding, covering. So outermost layer is pericardium. This pericardium is further divided into two layers. One is called as the parietal pericardium and the second one is called as the visceral pericardium. So the visceral pericardium is on the inside, whereas the parietal pericardium is on the outside. And in between these two layers of pericardium, there is a potential space which is called as the pericardial cavity. Okay, so we have seen four chambers of heart and three layers of the heart. Okay, so we have covered the first point, we have covered the second key point and the third key point. What is the fourth important point to see? That there is no intermixing of the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. See, if we look in this diagram, we can clearly see that there is a septum. This septum which is separating the left and the right part of the human heart. So the left part, which is red in color or pink in color, contains the oxygenated blood, whereas the right part, that is the right atrium and right ventricle, it contains the deoxygenated blood. So we can see that there is no mixing of the blood in human heart. In comparison to human heart, the heart of amphibians like frogs, they only have a three-chambered structure. So they have two atrium, but they have a common ventricle. So there is mixing of blood in the ventricles, both the oxygenated as well as the deoxygenated blood, they get mixed. Okay, and similarly in fishes, like in amphibians I said there is a three-chambered heart. In case of fishes, there are two chambers only. Okay, one atrium, one ventricle, there are only two chambers. And in fishes also there is no intermixing of blood. So now let's come to the next point. Ventricles have a thicker wall because they pump blood to the body parts. If you closely look at the walls, this is the wall of the atrium. Okay, this is a thinner wall, whereas this is the wall of the ventricle. This is a thicker wall. So ventricles have a thicker wall because the ventricles are pumping the blood to all the body parts, whereas the atrium is just pumping the blood to the ventricle. So atrium have to do less amount of work, so they are having thin walls, whereas the ventricles are doing large amount of work, so they are having a thick wall. Now let's come to the next point, that is mitral valve is between the left atrium and left ventricle, and tricuspid valve is between the right atrium and right ventricle. Okay, so to understand this point, let's look at this diagram. What we have done is we have cut this heart between the atrium and ventricle and we are looking from the above. Okay, so when we look from the above, what we can see is you can see three cups, 1, 2 and 3. Three cups. So that is why this valve between the right atria, you can see right side of the heart. So between the right atria and right ventricle, the name of the valve is tricuspid valve. Whereas towards the left side of the heart, between the left atria and left ventricle, we have a valve which consists of only two cusps. Okay, so this is called as a bicuspid valve, and the other name of this valve is mitral valve. So to remember, you can use this mnemonic. Okay, mitral, bicuspid on the which side? What is the Hindi of left side? It is बाएं. Okay, दाएं means right, बाएं means left. So mitral, bicuspid on the बाएं side. So you can remember this mnemonic. Okay. So we have looked at all the key points regarding the human heart. Let's discuss some more points about the structure of human heart from this diagram. So if we look at this diagram, we have already looked at four chambers, we have looked at the walls, and we have looked at the valves. Now let's look at the main blood vessels that we can see in this diagram. Firstly, let's look at the right hand side. On the right hand side, we have this inferior vena cava and superior vena cava. These are the two main vessels which are collecting all the deoxygenated blood from the upper part, that is the superior, and the lower part of the human body, and they are draining into what? They are draining into the right atrium. So superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, they will bring all the deoxygenated blood into the right atrium, and from here the blood will go into the right ventricle, and from right ventricle now this blood has to go where? It has to go to lungs for oxygenation. So how will it go to lungs? It will go with the help of this vessel you see here. What is this? This is pulmonary artery. So this is the main vessel that is exiting the right ventricle, that is the pulmonary artery, which further divides into right and left for both the lungs. So we have seen main blood vessels on the right side. Now let's see the main blood vessels on the left side of the human heart. So first we will see the blood vessel coming to the left atrium. What are these blood vessels called? They are called as the pulmonary vein. Four pulmonary veins, they drain into the left atrium. You can see two on this side and two on this side. These four pulmonary veins will drain into the left atrium. From there, the blood will go into the left ventricle, and the left ventricle will pump the blood into all the parts of the human body by means of aorta. So this is the main blood vessel which is exiting from the left ventricle. So we have seen all the structures in this diagram. We have seen all the four chambers, we have seen the outer covering, we have seen the main blood vessels, and we have seen the valves between the atria and ventricle. There are also small valves which is present at the opening of all the major blood vessels. Okay, you can see valves in the opening of aorta and valves in the opening of pulmonary artery. What else can you see in this diagram? Can you see these white structures which are running from the muscular wall of the ventricles to the cusps of the valve between the atria and ventricle? What are these called as? These structures are called as chordae tendineae. These are fibrous structures which hold the valves together. Okay. So these white structures that you see, they are the chordae tendineae. They are present on both the sides. Okay. So with this, we finish the subtopic of human heart. We have seen all the structures, we have seen the outer covering, and we have seen all the valves. Okay. So now let's come to the second subtopic, that is the circulation part. Some amount I have discussed already while explaining the diagram, but let's see again what are the important points that we have to remember. First and the most important is that humans have a double circulation. What is the meaning of double circulation? The blood will pass through the heart twice in a single cycle. So firstly, all the blood from the body will get collected and come to the heart. Then it will go to the lungs. Then again from the lungs, after oxygenation, the blood will come back to the heart before being pumped into all the body parts. Okay. So blood is passing to the heart twice. So that's why humans are said to have a double circulation. In contrary to this, fishes, they have a single circulation. So how does that happen? Suppose this is the heart of the fish. It contains only two chambers, and here we have gills. Okay, so like humans have lungs, fishes have gills for oxygenation. So blood will go from heart to the gills. It will get oxygenated in the gills. It will go to all other body parts, and from the body parts, deoxygenated blood will come to the heart. So what is happening? In a single cycle, the blood only crosses the heart once, whereas in humans, the blood will cross the heart twice. Let's see how. Suppose this is the heart, these are your lungs, and this is the body. So first what will happen? All the deoxygenated blood from the superior and inferior parts of human body, they will come to the heart in the right atrium. From here it will go to the right ventricle. From right ventricle it is pumped to lungs for oxygenation. Blood will oxygenate and it will come back to the left atrium. From left atrium it will go to the left ventricle, and from left ventricle it will go to all other body parts. So you can see the blood is crossing the heart twice. That is why it is called as the double circulation. Now let's see what other important points. Okay, so first point is covered. Second point is deoxygenated blood comes to the right half, whereas the oxygenated blood comes to the left. We have already seen it. Now let's see the sequence of blood flow. What is the sequence? Left atrium, then left ventricle, then to the body. From the body, now the deoxygenated blood will come to the right atrium, then to the right ventricle, again to the lungs, and back to the left atrium. So this whole cycle gets completed. Okay. In this diagram, you can see this whole left side. This is the left, this is the right. The whole left side is the oxygenated part, and on the right side we have the deoxygenated part. So blood from the left side of the heart via aorta is going to all the parts of the body by means of artery and arterioles. Then this will further divide and form capillaries. These capillaries will again start to join up and form venules. These venules will join up to form veins, and all the veins ultimately drain into inferior vena cava and superior vena cava. Okay, so this is the whole pattern of circulation. Now after draining all the deoxygenated blood via superior and inferior vena cava, all the blood will go into lungs. Lungs will oxygenate those blood, okay, and again send them back to the left side of the heart. Okay, so this is the whole pattern of circulation in humans. Here also we can see by means of color code, left side of the heart, oxygenated blood. These are the lungs. These are the lungs. This is the upper part of the body. This is the lower part of the body. So from left side, the oxygenated blood goes to the body. Now the deoxygenated comes back from the body to the right side. It is again pumped to the lungs. It oxygenates and comes back to the heart. Now let's come to our third topic. Okay, since this was the second subtopic, that is circulation. Now we have the third topic, that is of blood vessels. What are blood vessels? They are cylindrical structures by means of which the blood which is pumped by the heart is distributed to all the organs in the human body. So there are mainly two kinds of blood vessels, as you can see. One is artery and the other one is vein. In this diagram you can see a lot of differences. At first let's see the branching pattern. Aorta that was coming out of the heart will branch into various systemic arteries. These arteries will branch into various arterioles. Then these arterioles will branch into even finer vessels which are called as capillary. Capillary are single layer thick. Okay, their outer covering of these blood vessels is consist of only a single layer of cells, so that there is ease of diffusion of the oxygen and carbon dioxide. Then these capillaries will unite to form venules. These venules will unite to form veins, and all the body veins ultimately drain into superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Okay. Now let's see the structural difference between these blood vessels. Okay. First, let's look at the overall structure. Suppose this is a blood vessel. You can divide it into three parts. This is the first layer, this is the second layer, and this is the third or the outermost layer. First layer is called as tunica intima, or it is also called as the endothelium. Now the second layer is the muscular layer. It consists of smooth muscles. So endothelium, and then the second layer, that is smooth muscle. Then the third or the outermost layer, this is called as the tunica adventitia. So these are the three main layers: endothelium, smooth muscle, and adventitia. Now the thickness of these three layers vary between artery and veins. Okay, so arteries are more muscular. They have a thicker layer of muscles. So the second layer in arteries will be more thick. Okay, so if we compare artery and veins by means of a diagram, So this will be the diagram of a vein and this will be the diagram of artery. We can see the second layer is more thick, whereas it is thinner in veins. What else we can see? The caliber of the blood vessel is smaller in case of arteries because of a thicker wall. Okay, and it is wider in case of veins. What other difference is there in artery and veins? In veins, you have valves to prevent the backflow of blood, but there are no valves in arteries. Why are there valves in veins? Because they are carrying the blood upwards, against the gravity. So there is more chance of a backflow. So to prevent the backflow, there are presence of valves in the veins, but these valves are not present in the arteries. Okay, so you can see the differences in this table. Arteries they have a thicker wall, veins they have a thinner wall. The veins they have valves present to prevent the blood flow, but there are no valves in artery. Then the caliber of artery is less, as we have seen, because of a thicker wall, and the caliber of veins are large. And what is the 4 point? Arteries are less compliant, whereas veins are more compliant. What is the meaning of compliance? When the blood enters the blood vessel, till what extent can a blood vessel stretch? Okay, so if a blood vessel is stretching less, it is called as less compliant. So the arteries don't stretch easily. They have a very muscular wall, very thick wall, so they don't stretch. Whereas veins, they have a thinner wall, they can easily stretch. So the arteries are less compliant, whereas veins are more compliant. Okay. So we have seen the differences between arteries and veins. So the third subtopic of blood vessels is also completed.